Closing arguments are scheduled Friday in a hearing that could decide the future of the Trump election interference case.
Attorneys for Donald Trump and some of his co-defendants argue a romantic relationship between DA Fani Willis and one of her special prosecutors poses a conflict of interest so serious that she should be removed from the case and the indictments dismissed. Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis joins us now to explain what Judge Scott McAfee will be considering here. Randy?
Yeah, Russ, the judge already indicated he's looking for answers to two main questions. When did the relationship start, and did Willis benefit financially by hiring Nathan Wade to run the Trump investigation? As in many court disputes, the answers depend on who you believe.
District Attorney Fani, F-A-N-I. Last name is Willis. I don't know the day that we started seeing each other, but it was early 22.
When did your romantic relationship with Miss Willis begin?
2022.
That would have been after Fani Willis brought Nathan Wade into the Trump criminal probe, paying him around $700,000 to date. But an estranged friend and former DA staffer Robin Yurdy testified the two actually began dating 3 years earlier. That's also what former Wade law partner Terrence Bradley texted one of the defense attorneys. But when Bradley was questioned under oath, his story changed, insisting his texts were speculation.
I do not have knowledge of it starting or when it started.
Terrence, you told me that it started when they were both municipal court judges, though, correct?
That is incorrect.
Defense attorneys filed a motion asking the judge to consider cell phone tracking records from 2021, which they say show Wade spending time at Willis's hateful condo after hours. Willis's team argued the data is unreliable and want McAfee to ignore it.
A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
Willis denied under oath profiting from her decision to hire Wade, insisting the two of them roughly shared expenses when they vacationed in California and the Caribbean. But they each testified she always paid him in cash, an explanation that left defense attorneys befuddled.
You don't have a single solitary deposit slip to corroborate or support any of your allegations that you were paid by Mrs. Willis in cash, do you?
No, sir.
Not a single solitary one.
Not a one.
The money that you paid Mr. Wade, the cash, in October of 2022, you do not know where that money came from.
I do know where it came from. It came from my sweat and tears.
It is unlikely that Judge McAfee will rule from the bench after the closing arguments tomorrow. What is likely is that whichever side loses in this case will be appealing, meaning the case will be delayed even longer.
Yeah, I mean, is it even possible to say when a trial could potentially start?
Well, no, not really. Not until you get all this worked out and decide who is going to be the prosecutor in the case. We did get like a taste of what a trial might look like in this hearing, though. There were 9 attorneys. Each one of them got a chance to ask a question, cross-examine every witness. Now imagine 15 attorneys, because that's how many defendants there are in the case, each doing that with every witness over a 3 or 4 month period. Even if the trial could start later this year, it seems unlikely it could be finished in time for November.
Yeah, and even 3 or 4 months sounds wildly optimistic in terms of getting to a verdict one way or the other.
Yeah, very much so, Russ.
Yeah, well, we'll continue to watch and see what the decision is after Friday.
We'll be watching tomorrow.
All right, Brandy, thanks.
Thanks, Randy.